India has taken a major, unprecedented step, with key involvement from its armed forces. Even Trump might be shocked by today's news. It felt like a movie, a calm beginning followed by a bold action. India has calmly handled US pressure so far. India valued the friendship till now. But today, India struck hard. It became a major global issue. You'll be shocked by India's move by the end, like seeing your dad suddenly angry. India did something bold today. I'll explain the full story in this video. Trump gave an unnecessary speech. India hit back strongly on all fronts. Even the Indian army indirectly trolled Trump. Let me explain the whole event. Sharing it all at once will be truly exciting. Trump started a fight, India hit back. Is this good for India? Not fully. The US should also respond strongly. Still, India's move was bold and Apartment India took a bold diplomatic stand. I'll explain India's action next. Before that, subscribe to stay updated. Get world events explained in 10 minutes. You'll find it more thrilling than a movie. India's move is more thrilling than Sherlock Holmes. Get daily 10-minute updates like this. Subscribe to Worldpedia and join my channel. Let's get started. Hello everyone. Hello my dear world people. Let's get into it. Last night Trump posted on his platform. We already discussed this. Trump doesn't post on other platforms. He was banned after losing power, so he created Truth Social. He posted there. Trump accused India of buying lots of oil from Russia, and reselling that oil at a higher price. India buys from Russia and sells to Europe. Europe avoids Russian oil after Ukraine war. Now US and Europe act as one team. So Europe buys indirectly through India. That's Trump's point. India does this as business. So India helps Russia and profits from oil sales to Europe. They once ruled India too. India didn't deny Trump's claims. Trump said India profits while Ukraine suffers. Here's the issue. Trump blames India for ignoring Ukraine deaths. He says India funds Russia's war machine. I want to ask Trump a real question. To those upset about Ukraine deaths, compare deaths in Ukraine to Gaza. Did Trump ignore Gaza's destruction and deaths? Why care about Russia's drone strikes on Ukraine? India asked this. Let's start with Trump's statement. He's concerned about Russian machines killing. Compare Israel, Gaza, and Iran US attacks. Ukraine war is smaller by comparison. Ukraine war deaths over 2 years are less. Gaza is still bleeding while Trump talks. He only cares if nations support him. Trump says India's support fuels Russia's war. We predicted this in our video 2 days ago. Trump failed to stop Russia, now targets India. He now says the US will raise tariffs on Indian imports. Why should India pay US taxes? Trump's statement was wrong. Here's what he meant. He meant increasing tariffs on Indian goods in the US. Already hiked by 25%, now wants more. He ended his post with, "Thanks DJT." Signed, President Donald J. Trump. Trump says India's oil trade funds war. India's money helps Russia attack Ukraine, says Trump. He plans to raise tariffs in response. For the first time, India's external ministry gave a strong reply. They pointed out 6 flaws and told the US to fix them. India never responded so strongly before. Last strong reply was during Kalam and Vajpayee's time. Now again, a strong reply. India posted this on its website. On August 4th night, external ministry posted it. India was blamed by US and EU for buying Russian oil post-Ukraine conflict. But India started that only after Europe took our traditional supplies. India usually buys oil from Middle East. Europe used to buy from Russia, not the Middle East. Europe then stopped Russian oil imports. They started buying Middle East oil. India had been sourcing oil from the Middle East for years. With Middle East oil limited, India turned to Russia. United States at that time actively encouraged such imports. That way, demand wouldn't rise. If Middle East supplies both Europe and India, prices in Europe rise. India held up a mirror to the US. India's imports are meant to ensure predictable and affordable energy costs. They are a necessity due to global market conditions. Interestingly, the same nations criticizing India trade with Russia. Unlike India, their trade isn't a vital necessity. These countries blamed India for supporting war-causing Ukrainian deaths. The European Union in 2024. Same EU which opposes Russia now. EU had 67.5 billion euros trade in goods with Russia in 2024. In addition, it traded 17.2 billion euros in services in 2023. EU-Russia trade includes energy, fertilizers, mining, chemicals, steel, machinery. Point 5 targeted Trump. Where the US is concerned. India said US still imports Russian uranium hexafluoride for nuclear use. US buys palladium for EVs like Tesla and Ford. Also fertilizers and chemicals. US continues buying from Russia. Let me finish point 6 and give India's perspective. Targeting India is unjustified and unreasonable. India will take steps to protect its economy and national interest. India made 6 strong points. India responded boldly to Trump's pressure. China, Russia, Brazil said the same. Now India joined them. One more interesting thing. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa all resist US pressure. They are united as BRICS. That group already exists. Now I'll explain India's view from all 6 points. It's simple. India says buying oil from Russia isn't a big issue. Only 30-40% of India's oil trade is with Russia. It's not a huge business. India asks why this 30% is a problem. If 30% oil money kills Ukrainians, US is guilty too. India asks why US buys palladium for EVs. Also asks why it buys fertilizers and uranium hexafluoride. EU-Russia trade includes all industrial products too. India says Western nations buy all these, yet claim they don't fund the war. India asks how small oil trade causes bloodshed. India made a strong statement for the first time. It's a big blow to accusers. But there's more. Indian Army struck back too. The Indian Army was restrained. Now it's active. Eastern Command posted a strong official message. They say, this day, that age. There was even a TV show called A Day in History. It referred to an old news article. During the 1970s war, India defeated Pakistan. Army posted the article from that time. Headline, US arms worth $2 billion shipped to Pakistan since 54 inches. This was before the war. Pakistan used $2 billion in US weapons. Still, India defeated them badly. Army posted it as a tweet. Army reminded US of history. They said US can't threaten India. The US aims to counter India through Pakistan. They criticized US oil interest in Pakistan. Indian Army said if India retaliates, even US can't handle it. It matters who posted that message. See Indian Army's official Eastern Command _IA page. Internet went heated. At the same time, Russia also made a strong response statement. Russia became angry over US bullying India. Maria Zakharova is the Russian Foreign Ministry's spokesperson. She said US dominance in the world is reducing. US doesn't have strength to accept this. So, US is threatening everyone and bullying everything. She said they don't care. She said Russia has BRICS partners. BRICS partners are Brazil, Russia, China, and South Africa. These 5 nations are global superpowers next to the US. These 5 countries share common advantages. Countries like Japan, South Korea, Canada, and Europe always support the US. There's a reason they always support the US. They may not like the US much. Ask your friends who live there. They even criticize the US often. Countries like Europe, Japan, and South Korea. They are more dependent on US military. These nations buy military weapons from the US, so they can't oppose the US. But BRICS nations like Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa aren't dependent on the US military. This is true superpower status. India has now gone a step ahead by making its own weapons. Globally, weapon manufacturing nations are very few. Only huge powers make weapons. India decided to develop weapons on its own. India didn't want to depend on the US. But India was dependent on Russia. Even though Russia is a friend, India decided to develop its own weapons. You might think India gave a massive response. Surely there will be a huge reaction from Trump's side. This will make Trump more upset. India's sudden bold statement may confuse them. Trump may react as we know from following him. I'll say one thing for sure. Surely this will have an impact in India. In India, 50-60 lakh jobs depend on the US. When the US imposes taxes, it heavily impacts Indians who rely on the US. Not sure if Trump's tariffs will affect IT sector, but Trump is erratic and may target IT too. Mainly the textile sectors in Tirupur or Gujarat. Also jewelry and pharma sectors. When US sales drop due to tax, these sectors must focus on selling to other nations. Indian sectors can sell to other countries, but another problem exists. It's China. After US imposed heavy tariffs, China diversified exports to many nations. I'll read a headline from Indian Express. China pays price for lack of clarity on US penalty. Unclear how China and India get tariffed since both buy oil from Russia. Even if India delivers products, pricing can't compete with China. Truth is, China is 30-40 years ahead in manufacturing. We must accept the enemy's strength to progress. If anyone says India is better in manufacturing, that's a lie. China is a much bigger manufacturer than India. India can't win a price war with China. India should focus on manufacturing markets China isn't in. There are almost 200 countries in the world. No need to depend on just one among 200. I read this was a great strategy in an article. In a BBC article, it was mentioned the situation benefits India. India should maintain relations with all countries, not just the US. From the US view, it has ties with many countries, not just India. US deals with India, Pakistan, Russia, Europe, South America, Germany, Australia, and more. US can be friend or enemy when needed. First step of a superpower is having ties with every nation. Let's look at China. China maintains relations with Bangladesh, Pakistan, Afghanistan, India, and Russia. Nations should maintain ties with everyone. This is a leader's strength. India is planning to reach superpower status, but US pressure is forcing India to move faster. This situation reminds us of something. Why are other nations powerful? India has the top population but lacks power. I believe the right time has come. India has a great chance to rise in global politics. India made its first strong blow to the US. This is a strong response, not a normal one. Check any news channel. This is now a heated debate. We have to wait and watch the US reaction and India's next step. You think opposing US causes job loss in India? Yes, maybe there's a chance of job loss, but temporarily. India is focusing on diversity at a manageable stage. To get to this stage again may take 1-2 years. But this situation isn't permanent. India can handle it. For the first time, parties in India, whether communist, BJP or others, supported this new decision. These parties are always opposite in any political matter. This new move became a common point for Indian parties. Now everyone in India mutually supports that this path is right. It's going to be crazy. It was like a fighting family coming together at a common event. Let's see what happens next. See you tomorrow with more updates. Before the video ends, one question as usual for you. Now India made this strong path. Do you agree with India? Or do you think India should stay neutral? But powerful nations won't let India stay neutral. US is pressuring India to take a side. Do you think India should accept US conditions? India must let US corporate products sell in India, mainly dairy. Then India also has to cut ties with Russia. India must allow US agriculture in India. Basically, India must sacrifice many things for US friendship. First, India must cut trade with Russia. This means distancing from a longtime ally. Allowing US imports may hurt India's local farmers. If India agrees, US might sell even tomatoes and onions cheaper. If India does all this, US will maintain friendship with India. Trump speaks friendly as usual. He lets Indian products like medicine sell in the US regularly. Tirupur powers brands like Adidas, boosting US sales. For that, India must sacrifice Indian local farmers and Russian friendship. Do you want India to team with Russia or with the US? As usual, same question. Every day the situation is evolving. Now comment your opinion. If you support Russia, comment Team Russia. Or if you support America, comment Team America. In fact, it's not Team Russia now, it's Team India. Because India is a bigger economy than Russia, it was said symbolically. Anyway, share your opinion in the comments.